Hey everyone, I'm Majiin and welcome back to World Tour Weekly, your one-stop shop for all competitive Flesh and Blood news. With Calling Valencia and the first week of the Blitz skirmish season in the books, we have a lot of exciting data to go over. Let's get right into it with today's Metagame Minute. Okay, this past weekend we got to see the stream of Calling Valencia, which showed us that maybe the classic constructed metagame is still evolving. As we've talked about many times in the past few months, the top 3 de facto decks of the format are Syndra, Verdance, and Gravy Bones. A couple of other decks have popped up as strong contenders, even if they weren't quite able to break into that upper echelon. Think decks like Prism, Arachne Marionette, KO, Acilio, and Kasai. Ever since we had the World Championship in Philadelphia, it seems like a lot of these decks are succeeding more and more, despite the big 3 not really changing. Let's take a look at Calling Valencia and talk about why. Immediately jumping out to me on this metagame breakdown is that Gravy Bones has overtaken Verdance in number of players on the hero, making him the second most popular bring for this tournament besides Syndra. Both Gravy and Verdance aren't super far ahead of the next couple of decks in line though, which is definitely surprising. This whole season we have been seeing a pretty large split between the top 3 and everything else. That's not where these surprises end though, as you'll see when we switch over to the conversion rate. Not only did all 3 of the top decks have horrendous conversion rates, Arachne Marionette absolutely crushed it, with 16 of the original 32 players making it into day 2. That's an absolutely absurd performance, especially from a hero that isn't commonly considered to be one of the top dogs. Dash.io also did very well with 44% of players making the cut, and while they had a lower amount of representation, Dorinthia and Rhinar also had a good showing. I mentioned that I think Acilio is doing very well, and I know that his conversion here doesn't look incredibly inspiring, but wait until we get to the top 8 and I'll explain why I think he's also on the up and up. While we're on this page, I wanted to highlight the one Lyeth gold main making it into day 2. If you haven't watched the coverage, you should go back and watch this hero in action. Jason Rolfe made him look absolutely busted. If I were you, I would maybe expect to see a couple more copies of the Reviled Guardian at your local event. Moving on to the top 8 bracket, you'll see that we have 2 Acilio, 3 Gravy Bones, 1 Dash.io, and 2 Arachne Marionette. Obviously, 2 Arachne making it into the final bracket is impressive and kind of expected, I suppose, considering its tremendous conversion rate, but we're going to talk about that deck in a second. First, I want to talk about Acilio. 2 copies in the top 8 is obviously incredible, especially when there are only 5 copies in day 2. I've been seeing more and more of the Lightning Wizard making top 8s or even taking down events, even if the hero doesn't have the most impressive conversion rates overall. Not only that, but these same Acilio players seem to be finishing near the top time after time. This makes me think that while Acilio is doing fine overall, the players who really put the time into the hero are being rewarded. I do expect to see this hero continue to do well, or even better, as the season matures. Okay, on to Marionette. Why has this hero been doing better week after week? I think one part, and an important part, is that people are just playing the deck better. They have better macro plans, they're more familiar with their matchups, things like that. But the most important part of it has to be the deck changing, and obviously for the better. The popular builds for this hero have always been kind of dagger-centric, but the most recent builds take it to a whole nother level. They also look to take advantage of Codex of Inertia, granting them a ponder token while putting their opponents in awkward spots. It feels like the most recent lists are built around this card more and more, with almost every single card in the deck costing 0. This lets them play Codex of Inertia, and as long as they have the resources to swing a dagger, they can play virtually any card off the top of their deck. This means that they can take advantage of the card granted from Codex of Inertia immediately and still get value off the ponder token at the end of their turn. A lot of matchups I played with this hero seem to always come within a couple of life points. With this version, they can squeeze a couple of cards worth of extra value out of the deck, putting it ahead in matchups it was previously losing. I wouldn't be surprised if very soon the player base at large considers Arachne Marionette to be just as strong as the top decks. Moving on from Classic Constructed, we also have week 1 of Skirmish Season 13's results to go over. Last weekend I mentioned that I would be playing Blaze for my own skirmish, and not only did I have a blast, but I also got that cold foil I was after. It seems that 16 other people won their local skirmish with the Wizard as well, making her the 3rd most winningest deck of the weekend, behind Florian in 1st and KO in 2nd. Aurora also had double-digit wins, and tons of different heroes took down events as well. Someone even won with Guinness Whatchanneed. I don't even know what that guy does. The skirmish season will be the last time the Blitz format is hosted, and it ends on December 14th, so make sure to head out to your local game stores and compete for your share of the prizes. But that's enough about the meta, let's talk champions in today's Weekend Winners. We had talked earlier about Calling Valencia, and Paul Van Ysel took down the whole event playing Gravy Bones. The battle hardened for Valencia was in the Silver Age format, and Petter Olsen showed that Chainbound by Shadow is still a powerhouse in any format, taking first place. Congratulations once again to our weekend winners. Now, the Valencia stream was awesome as always, and there's definitely some hype moments in there. I wanted to highlight one in particular where Paul Van Ysel is staring down a maximum velocity with 2 red boom grenades on the field. Let's check it out in today's Razor Replay.
Disappearing as the chain is closed once more. There's these 4 resources for a reason. There is a backup protocol red in play, a maximum velocity coming for the skull. 10 points of damage on hit, 8 more.
And that backup protocol means he can get an attack. He still has an action point as well to play another attack on the second link. But if there's a red or yellow 0 to 60, that's just a bit too much. You can block 10 here with Dead Threads, Gold Baited Hook, Quick Dodge Flexors, Call to the Grave, and this Blood in the Water. And then have a float to block another 2 with the Quick Dodge Flexors on the final link. If he was able to know that this Blood in the Water would hit for 6, it changes the math, of course, but not necessarily able to know that without discarding the Swabby out of hand, which disallows him from pitching for the Quick Dodge Flexor.
Call to the Grave. 2 blocks declared. Go to reactions. That Blood in the Water will come on out of the hand.
Blood in the water.
The question here,
Now
do
he
you
says, I'm
destroy in the
still
dark?
thinking.
Do you destroy the top card of the deck in the dark and hope to hold on to 2 more resources for Quick Dodge Flexors? Or do you destroy the ally in the hand? It's in the dark! It's rigor mortis!
That blocks 10 on this link, 2, 6, and 2 is 10. And then, of course, the cards in his hand can still convert to block another 4 on a 0 to 60 that gets found. Look at Samo's face. He's like, this was it. All red boom grenades gone. All max V's gone, except 1 is engraved for the 3rd backup protocol. If it's going to come, he can pitch for this quick dodge here and block with 2 block on equipment. That's 4. Covers up the 0 to 60. No damage to the boom grenades off of that gamble off the top of his deck. He'll take 2 to the symbiosis shot, but no real. He can pitch for it with the remaining from the quick dodge flexors. No damage comes through on this entire turn.
A turn that could have taken the entire health pool of Paul Van Ysel, leaves them at 28. He has found the line. The gun was blocked. At the start of the turn, there were 3 allies in the hand of Gravy Bones, and yet not a single piece leaked through. Those boom grenades remain untriggered.
I love watching that play out live. Seeing him slowly decide that his best plan is just to rip it and hope, and then get there was really sick. That about wraps up this week's episode. Make sure to head out to your local skirmish while the season lasts. I'm Majiin, and I'll see you next time on World Tour Weekly.